Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Bago in Myanmar. This is, as you can see, quite a large region here with the crease of my book not helping at all. Just imagine that's not there, okay? So we go down here and around. But you may also see this region listed as Bago, named after the Bago Mountains, which you can see here. They're listed as the Bago Mountains. Oh, you can see the Bago Mountains. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on this, because I think this is just what I assumed during my research. When the British took over Burma, they named things with their interpretation of how it's pronounced. The most famous being the capital city was Rangoon, but it's actually pronounced Yangon. So I'm pretty sure what happened is they called the city Bago when it's really closer to Bago. Oh, you British colonizers, you. They'll never change. Actually, please do. Actually, they don't exist anymore, so it's all good. So I think that's why the two names are kind of interchangeable, but you will definitely see Bago more often because that is its actual name. Here we can see along the border the Irrawaddy River, which we talked about in the Irrawaddy region over here. The biggest and most important river to Myanmar. But there's lots of other rivers going through the area here, and in fact, we have mountains here, and it gets a little mountainy over here, but in the middle is this absolutely lush, beautiful marshland, which you're going to see from Google Earth is just the greenest green that ever greened. Oh my goodness, it is lush and watery and wet and perfect for rice cultivation, right? Absolutely perfect to set up a settlement here. Plus, quite close to the ocean, you can see here the Gulf of Martaban, looks like there. Not too far away, bordering the edge here. But Bago actually used to be a coastal city, but times changed, rivers silt up, and it's much farther inland now, which we've actually seen in a couple of cities. I think we saw that over in Belgium, right? Yeah. And a few other places, I feel like. But that's just an interesting fact for you. Let's get into the good, interesting history of this region, because I have some really cool things to show you on Google Earth that you don't want to miss, so hang tight. Let's go through history here, and we're going to start off on UNESCO, because the first ancient cities, peoples here were the Pew, and it's a UNESCO site. I'm super zoomed in. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see the tablet a little bit more. Here we go. The Pew ancient cities. This is awkward, but I'm going, you know what I'm doing. Pew ancient cities includes the remains of 3 brick-walled and moated cities of Halin, Begtano, and Sri Kshetra, which is the one that's in Bago, located in vast irrigated landscapes in the dry zone of the Irrawaddy River Basin. This is very difficult. They reflect the Pew kingdoms that flourished for over 1,000 years between 200 BCE and 900 CE. The 3 cities are partly excavated archaeological sites. Remains include excavated palace citadels, burial grounds, and manufacture sites, as well as monumental brick Buddhist stupas, partly standing walls, and water management features, some still in use, that underpinned the organized intensive agriculture. Now, most of these pictures I feel like are from Halin, but there's some that are from Sri Kshetra, I think is how you pronounce it. Like this photo here is from that site. But very beautiful what's left. Look at this gorgeous wall here. Lots of old temples by the looks of it. Maybe a palace. It's definitely an old stupa, huh? And lots of archaeological sites I think we might see some of that in the slideshow, if I can find it. But let me see, I had it zoomed in because I figured it would be way too hard for you to see this area zoomed out like this, so let's bring it back. Isn't that better? Super close. Okay. So yes, the Pew city-states, which Sri Kshetra, which I'm probably greatly mispronouncing, is here near the city of Phye. It's called today, near the Irrawaddy. It would have established around sometime between the years 50 and 200 CE, and it was the capital of the Pew city-states, I guess the Pew kingdoms. This city down here was established in 573, it's believed. There's a lot of dates floating around from the 1000s, 1200s, but I'm pretty sure 573 is the best estimate. They probably went through phases, right, development, because it was very small for quite a long time. But it was not called Bago. It was called Hantawadi, which is a really fun name to say. Between 1369 and 1539, it was the capital of the Hantawadi Kingdom, which was a Mon kingdom. If you don't know, there are hundreds of ethnic groups in Myanmar. The Mon is just one of many. So their kingdom was centered down here, and again, remember, this was a coastal city, so it was perfect for trade. You had the rivers nearby, perfect for getting around. It was the capital of Hantawadi, and then later when the Taungoo, which you could see this down here, Taungoo, it's the spelling, when they took over, they made Hantawadi their royal capital from 1539 to 1599. 1599, things got a little iffy because the Portuguese came to town and tried to take over. A lot of conflict. I think they just left town so that they didn't have to deal with the Portuguese. The city would actually be sacked in 1757 once the Konbaung dynasty became a thing in Burma, which was the last great kingdom before the British took over. King Onlongpaya, which I'm pretty sure was the founder of the dynasty, correct me if I'm wrong, Burmese viewers are lovely, by the way, love you guys. There was a kind of uprising here of the Mon people who were like, oh, the Taungoo are gone, let's restart the kingdom of Hantawadi. And Onlongpaya said, absolutely not, you're my subjects. He came and leveled a lot of the city. There's some sacred sites that he spared, but most of them he destroyed to keep people from not forming their own kingdom, stifling a revolt in a way. In 1852, the area was annexed by the British after the Anglo-Burmese Wars were very, very successful for the British, and they managed to conquer all of Burma. Now, I really didn't find anything else between this time and the recent military junta in 2021, so I guess you can just assume, you know, the story just follows Myanmar's history. Oh, I forgot to say, that's when Yangon became the capital, when the Portuguese were messing around here and they were like, yeah, we gotta go. They went here to Yangon and made that the capital. Not to mention, after the city was sacked by Onlongpaya, when people came here to reestablish it, that's when the river had diverted and it all silted up. So it was not nearly as big as it once was. There were lots of earthquakes in this area, two big ones in 1917 and 1930. The 1917 one damaged a really beautiful pagoda here, which we'll take a look at. It's the Shwemada pagoda, I believe. I'm sure you've heard of the Shwedagon pagoda here in Yangon, which is just it's the golden pagoda. It's the most fabulous, most beautiful. But the Shwemada pagoda here in Bago is the tallest. It's just a couple feet taller because they're pointed, than the Shwedagon. So they rebuilt it after the earthquake, made sure that it's still taller than Shwedagon. So very sadly, during the military junta in 2021, the democratic government was overthrown by the military. There were protests here in Bago, and it ended quite violently in a massacre that killed 82 people. Which is very sad, but from what I can tell, life is still going on here in Burma, especially after I did my Irrawaddy video, and I got some lovely comments from people who live there and people who live in nearby Yangon. Life's still going on. It's very complicated politically, but like most of this area here is just farms. There's not really any pictures of there, unless it's a city along the Irrawaddy there, and maybe there's some. It's just very quiet life from what I can tell. But I am anxious to take you to Google Earth so I can show you some of the very cool temples here and tell you their legends. I figure it'd be better to tell you their stories when you're actually looking at them instead of just staring at this map. So let's head over to Google Earth and check it out. Here we are, Bago region in Myanmar. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's Myanmar, part of Southeast Asia. China up here, Thailand down here, India and Bangladesh right over there. There's the Indian Ocean, the Andaman Sea, the beautiful mouths of the Irrawaddy down here. But we're going to start off, and then look, the greenest green that ever greened. Isn't it beautiful? You can see kind of the mountains ending down here, a little bit more of it there, and then you just have this gorgeous, lush, if we zoom in, look at how swampy and wet it is. This must be just a little haven for farmers, right? We're going to start over here in Pye to see the archaeological sites. And of course, they're not popping up. One. I think it's down here. Yeah, that's the main one. But here we can see, I think this is, here's like the big stupa. Maybe it's a water tower. It looks like a water tower, but I'm pretty sure it's a stupa. What's left of this once great capital city of the Pew? I think, yeah, here we go. You can see that there are lots of active dig sites here. Still excavating what once was, little figurines that have been found. Wow, all overgrown. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? Wow. So many artifacts uncovered. Little statues and things. Mounds with who knows what wonders are underneath them, just waiting to be rediscovered. Incredible. I think this is the main site, Sri Kshetra. And do let me know how to actually pronounce that. I'm just assuming. I could be completely wrong. You can see remnants of what once was. That was probably a big statue. This is probably a big temple. Just see the stairs left. Almost looks like brick. Could be brick. I don't know. Maybe they knew how to make brick. But it does look like very intricately carved stones. But look at the cows. Little friends sitting up there enjoying the archaeological site. But it looks like just straight brick, doesn't it? Could just be that the rocks in this area are brick red and they just carved them into perfect brick shapes, but I don't know. Let me know. Cute. I can pose here at the ancient capital. Alright, we're heading down to Bago. I'm so excited. I've read so many cool stories about this place. I hope I can remember them all. So Bago, from what I can tell, is really split into two sections. The old city and the newer city. the old city being the ruins of what once was, and you can still see this moat around it, at least what's left of it. Reminds me of the Forbidden City, right? See, there's the Bago River. The old city here, where you can see this cool old temple, archaeological museum. Let's check it out. See some of these beautiful sights. That's really neat. An old, what's it called? The things that they would carry, like important people in. Oh, I've just blinked. What are those called? You can see Pagan, Hantawadi, Konbong. All the differences here. That's neat. A cool black and white photo. Original teak column. I didn't see this before when I was researching. What's the original teak column? Oh, puppy. Is that it? Are these it? I don't know. I didn't see this before when I was researching. That did not pop up. Here's Shmenadal Pagoda, which you can even see from here. It's very tall and beautiful. So this is the tallest pagoda in Myanmar by just a little bit. It's also very golden beautiful, just like Shwedagon. Beautiful Buddha statues here. Oh, escalators can take you up, or ramps, I suppose. Some kind monks there, which will probably gladly show you around. It's a neat place, isn't it? A beautiful tree. I wonder if it's a Bodhi tree. And let's see. I'm going to turn on the everything filter just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I forget which sites I want to show you in the old town and what's in the new town. Oh, the Golden Palace. This is neat too. This would be, I think we saw some of those photos in other slideshows, yeah. The palace. Okay, this is the ones I wanted to show you. This snake pagoda. So you are going to see a snake here. If snakes do bother you, I'll let you know. Once the snakes are gone, you can dim your screen, skip ahead a couple minutes in the video, whatever you need to do if snakes bother you. I've known 2 people in my life that could not even handle looking at pictures of snakes without panicking. So if you're one of those, take care of yourself, okay? Because we're going to see a cool snake. But the story is that once upon a time, a snake kept slithering into this town from the jungle. This big python. Look at him. It's the money snake. You've been blessed by the money snake. They kept taking it back out, and it would come slithering back, and they'd take it back out to the jungle, come slithering back. So they had a fortune teller figure out what's going on with the snake. It turns out that the snake was a reincarnated priest who was returning to the temple. So now it's the snake temple. I love snakes for the record. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and lots of cool pictures here of monks holding the big snake. Oh, it's a happy noodle. I think they are the sweetest animals, and they're so soft, and they just want to be loved, to be honest. I would love to have a snake as a pet. Look at the little noodle here. I mean, it's a very big noodle, but this is the snake temple, and people leave offerings of money on it, which I'm sure the snake appreciates in its own little way. Look at it crowded around the Buddhist there. Alright, snakes are gone. No more snakes. If you needed to turn your screen off, you can turn it back on now. If you skipped ahead, now's the safe time. I think this temple I really wanted to show you, right? Yes, so this is the world's largest reclining Buddha, which there are many different forms that Buddha statues can take. Reclining ones are my favorite ones. So this one is indoors to protect it, and you can see over here is an outdoor one. Look at him just chilling. We'll look at him next. The largest reclining Buddha. I don't know, I just relate, to reclining Buddhas. It's its own form of peacefulness, just relaxing, enjoying life. Now tell me how, because We're moving right now in my life. Our whole house is all packed up and chaotic. Tell me how when we were eating dinner tonight, the night I'm filming this, and I look over at our corner where we keep all of our boxes, and we just kind of tossed our big Snorlax over there, as one does, you know, because we're trying to figure out how to pack him. I look over there during dinner, and tell me how he's in this exact pose. And I went, oh my goodness, it's a sign. He's a reclining Buddha. So I snapped a picture. I couldn't help it. Here it is. He's probably going to just stay in that pose till we move on. Because now he's in the reclining Buddha pose, which I'm sure Snorlax appreciates. Let's look at this one. So the legend behind the original reclining Buddha is that he was built in 955 and was destroyed during one of the sackings of the city. He was thus rebuilt a couple years later. This is still ancient history, like the 1200s, I want to say. Look at that. Is that Photoshop? That's crazy. And then it was one of the sites that King Alongpaya spared. So pretty much the city just looked like this without the radio tower. For the longest time, there's just nothing, just ruin and a giant Buddha. I think that's neat how he's getting restored here. Very important to constantly maintain Buddha statues, especially if they're outside. Oh, he's only got one eyebrow done. They'll fix him up. But I just think it's so fascinating. All these little legends all scattered throughout this town, which is, from what I've seen researching, it's a very normal city. Like, I thought at first, looking at tourist videos, people were just like, this place is neat, moving on, let's head to Yangon, you know, a little day trip outside Yangon. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not a very exciting place. But then I found all of these legends, all of these cool places. Ooh, a monastery here, let's check it out. It's so neat. It's definitely on my list of places to visit in Myanmar. I have to go to Bagan, see all the pagodas. Obviously, I gotta swing by Yangon, and now Bago's on the list. I should also say, that's not how you pronounce Bago. I'm not pronouncing anything right. I think it's more like Bago, Bago, something like that. But I'm just pronouncing it the best I can. Here in America, we would say Bago. I guess in the UK, you'd say Bago. Look at all these monks. Wow, that's a lot. They're all studying. Very important at the monastery to do your studying. Isn't it painted beautifully? Looks like a paradise, all lined up. Well, I think this is all that I have to show you, to be honest. Let's find one more slideshow to end it out. Maybe we can find a natural looking thing. City Park? Nope. Yeah, there's a lot of places here that are labeled that don't have any slideshows like these. I think the only other town that I found had a wildlife reserve. Bingo. Oh, that's right. I remember this slideshow. This is the best picture for water buffalo and little baby water buffalo. The rest are fine, but we can end it here on this. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. I'm going through every region of the world alphabetically, and next we're going to be heading over to Brazil. My Brazilian viewers are also very fabulous. I know you've all been waiting for me to cover this state, and I'm excited to do so. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night. Good night.